Developing recognition of religious discrimination. Religious discrimination is defined as treating a person or group differently based on the certain beliefs they uphold or the religion they follow. A current international human rights issue that poses a substantial concern worldwide is of religious discrimination. Concerning contemporary affairs, China is on the rise of religious discrimination alongside a massive genocide. This is proven through the Muslim concentration camps enforced to divert the powerful credence among Muslims. Another example of this is confirmed through history, from the Jewish concentration camps to the Muslim concentration. Article 18 of the European Convention of Human Rights and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights outlines the freedom of thought, conscience, and religion or belief. However, it has received a lot of backlash and disrespect, resulting it to remain as an ongoing global issue. Religious discrimination has a distinct presence in Australia. This is reflected in Section 116 of the Australian Constitution, which states that the Commonwealth is prohibited from creating laws for any religion, imposing religious observance, or permitting the free practice of any religion, and no religious test shall be required as a qualification for any office of public trust. Unfortunately, this domestic legislation is ineffective in protecting an individual's right to practice their religion, as it doesn't include specificity besides the vague category of race discrimination. Moreover, religious discrimination may also be viewed as an international matter. The International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights respects an individual's civil and political rights, the right to life, freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, electoral rights, and the rights to due process and a fair trial. Although some states failed to comply in order to displace state sovereignty, this covenant is signed by 74 states and is reviewed 3 times every year. The Human Rights Watch is a non-government organization that primarily focuses on the protection and fight of human rights, including religious discrimination. Ironically, the own official was arrested for acts of war crimes and genocide while being defended by the Human Rights Watch organization. Moreover, the organization deputy director was involved in anti-Zionist rallies as well as supporting the death of 11 Israeli athletes in the 1976 Olympics. This illustrates the foundation to be ineffective towards preserving human rights of individuals along with preventing religious discrimination. As mentioned previously on the operations of the Human Rights Watch, which is a well-known non-government organization that aids in maintaining and protecting human rights, the organization focuses efforts in defending rights of people worldwide while investigating abuses to expose the facts widely and to pressure those with power to respect rights and secure justice. The Human Rights Watch utilizes international human rights and humanitarian law, using them as a framework to generate respect for human rights. An intergovernmental organization that supports the going against of religious discrimination is the Amnesty International. The organization collects information in order to campaign against abuses of human rights religious discrimination globally. The efforts Amnesty International implements against discrimination on religion or belief is advocating for states to fulfill the obligations to prohibit racial and religious vilification. Amnesty International states that under international law, it is clear that freedom of religion may be subject to limitations where they are prescribed by law and necessary to protect the fundamental rights and freedoms of others. The right to freedom of religion is therefore not absolute and may be mediated in order to uphold other fundamental rights. The Human Rights Council of Australia is a non-governmental institution which promotes the understanding and respect for human rights for all individuals without discrimination through the accordance to the International Bill of Rights and other human rights instruments internationally and domestically. The efforts of the Human Rights Council of Australia include observing the performance of other countries, including Australia, and encouraging them to support and consider freedom and human rights. An example is the Human Rights Council of Australia urging its country to take action against the deteriorating human rights situation in Egypt. One of the major concerning issues of current events include the massive genocide occurring in China. This ongoing complication of the Muslim Chinese concentration camps clearly illustrates religious discrimination and genocide. The Chinese government holds captive millions of Muslims in an attempt to deflect the true beliefs in religion. Various social media platforms such as Instagram have begun to raise awareness for this transversing and prominent global concern. At Feet Feminists posted on 12th August 2020, after the torture and bringing them back to the camps, they would tell them that they did nothing wrong. They were just re-educating them. This demonstrates the manipulation endured by the innocent population of Muslims. A domestic example of religious discrimination is the case of Rana Al-Asma. The young pregnant Muslim woman was physically assaulted at Parramatta Cafe, Bella Vista, on the 1st October of 2020. ABC News reported on the complication of a man, Stipe Lizana, 43, being sentenced for bashing a pregnant Muslim woman. This incident occurred on no basis, and the woman was targeted due to the religion she conformed to. The result of the uproar from the media put Mr. Lizana behind bars for 2 years. 11th of June 2019, The Conversation posted an article concerning the unfair dismissal of Israr Folau based on religion. Folau publicized the tweet shown above regarding his personal religious beliefs towards gay marriage. The result of the comment made on the right, hell unless they repent of their sins and turn to God, was him being dismissed because of discussing his Christian religious affairs publicly. The consequence of Mr. Folau making such remarks instigated a negative outburst from the media, leading him to lose his position and being dismissed. Maggie Basker from People Management UK posted on the 9th of December 2020 the case of a Sikh. Mr. Steady was denied work at Elements Personal Services because of a no-beads policy. Mrs. Steady took this to court on the basis of religious discrimination, and won £7,102 in compensation. The strong influence of the media towards this issue called a law reform to the beard policy that was upheld by the Supreme Court towards other occupations as well. BBC News reported on the 25th of October 2017 an elderly Catholic woman, Helen Scott, had rude remarks shouted at her by her colleagues and manager. Our day will come. Later, the Fair Employment Tribunal discovered the discrimination endured by Miss Scott based on her religious belief, which led to her being unfairly dismissed. This crude incident resulted in her being awarded £20,000 by an industrial tribunal. The media was in favour of the unjust treatment Miss Scott experienced during work, resulting in the action against religious discrimination. Thank you, Mahin Shahid.